Yo, in this new episode of WoW, secrets get revealed, rematches are had, and then we still have more superheroes debuting. This is Steph and Kat Talk WoW.
Yeah, yeah. Making her way to the mic. They start dimming the lights. You start feeling alright. From Birmingham, home of the Teddy Longs and the Ruben Studders. More once you discover. For all of the lovers, Whitney Houston and Roman Reigns. For all of the lovers, and Mickey James and Marvin Gaye. For all of the lovers, and Sasha Banks, Janelle Monáe, Silk, Sonic, and Paige. Allow me to say, look, I just found a place, sweet escape. Every one of us, I was kinda late, so I just made it up the struggle bus. Walking by the face.
Hey, hey, hey! Happy Monday! And of course, welcome to Steph and Kat Talk WoW. Of course, we are here to discuss the hottest all women's wrestling show, and that is WoW Women of Wrestling Superheroes, coming at you live every Monday at 7, 6 Central. Of course, I'm your girl, Stephanie Hardy, host and creator of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, contributor for Daily DDT, and color commentator for the Belladonna Division, Battle Club Pro, Black Girl Magic 2022, and Spartan Wrestling. But of course, I'm not alone. With me is my tag team partner, the amazing creator of NCAT We Trust, amazing panelist creator of Behind the Magic Women of Color in Wrestling, and a fantastic writer and super mom. She is Katrina Blake. How are you, Kat?
I am well, a little tired. It's been a busy weekend, but happy to be here. Happy I've been seeing the little acknowledgement from some of the ladies on the promotion and the roster. And so thank you ladies as always for just being supportive of us. Especially, I just quick shout out to Princess Aussie. She's always on it. And so I was like, thank you, champ, when I saw her post the other day. And so thank you always, ladies, just for supporting us as we enjoy watching your product.
Absolutely. We just love being socially involved with the WoW superheroes universe, even though I'm pretty sure there has to be another word for that because using universe low-key feels like it's exclusive to WWE, but then again, universes are universes. So, I mean, the WoW universe is really supportive and always showing us love, even through this transition that we are going through. And I really appreciate and love that, especially from our WoW World Champion, Princess Aussie. We love the love that she constantly shows us from the retweets, from, the live tweeting, and even from us just posting pictures of her just being amazing and just sharing those things. Like, we love it. And then, of course, we love the interactions that we get from all of the WoW superheroes. So thank you guys so much for supporting us and for loving the show. And for those who are watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and all of the things, and Twitch, thank you so much for supporting us. And of course, if you've watched this episode of WoW Superheroes, let us know who your favorite superhero is and what cool things you want to see from this season, because this second season is really operating on a higher level that I am just really excited about. So please, if you're watching everywhere, please chime in the comments and let us know how you are feeling about this season so far. Now, something that I really love to do, which I should make a segment out of at some point, is whenever we see our WoW superheroes doing other things outside of, the WoW spectrum. And two things I noticed this past week was, number one, the Beast was featured in Muscle and Fitness magazine, with a whole section on her and her fitness regimen, and I thought that was amazing. And then secondly, we saw a picture get revealed of Jennifer Flores being the stunt double for AJ Mendez on the Star series Heels. Now, of course, if you know AJ Mendez, who used to be a part of WoW as a color commentator and executive producer last season, also acted as El Dorado in Heels on Stars, which is, of course, is canceled now, sadly. But she was a wrestler on there and made everybody real excited about her prospects of coming back to in-ring action. But of course, when you're in Hollywood, you got to have stunt actors. And her stunt actor was no one even greater than Jennifer Flores. And I thought that was just amazing just to see the pictures of them side by side. Like they look like twins. Like I told Katrina straight up, like you cannot convince me that that is not her child because they just look just alike. So I just thought that was amazing. That was a great opportunity for Jennifer Flores to have gotten. And also it just makes sense because AJ was the reason why she's on WoW even now. So I just think that was amazing to see this week. And hopefully we can continue to make a segment out of the show before we talk about the show itself, where we talk about places we see other WoW superheroes, you know, doing things in and out of the ring. So, Katrina, how do you feel about the Beast having this much exposure by her fitness regimen, as well as J Flo having her stunt double moment?
As for the Beast, I think that's pretty cool. She was definitely that was something I've noticed about her in season one, at least when I started watching, that she was somebody who clearly like worked out. I don't. So like I'm a tiny lady, but I definitely am not somebody who's working out. I probably wouldn't last with her regimen. That would not work for me. I'll probably tap out about 15 minutes in, truly. And so, I think it's pretty cool that we're showcasing more of that, and we're seeing more of, again, a little just a different side, because her just being tough and ferocious as she needs to be. And wow, and so it's nice kind of just to get a little insight. Like this is just you like basic stuff like working out is always just a nice behind the scenes. So that was cool. As for Jennifer Flores and AJ Mendez, I loved heels. I got a little bit longer, a little bit later than most people, but I did watch it and I was devastated when I found out, especially the way the last season ended. I was like, oh, I can't wait to the next season. Next week, oh, it's canceled. Like, what do you mean? Because I was stressed about what happened in the last episode. And so I'm kind of mad that there's no closure for me. There's no closure for me. And so I'm kind of sad. And so there was a moment, and I did say when I was watching it that I thought it might have been about the blow. I wasn't sure. Just because like it's just a quick little scene, and it just sometimes my eye catches things. And so I wasn't sure. I was like, maybe it was just the editing. When they was so to find out that there was actually a body double, in fact. And I get why they do it. It's more of a safety aspect. Because I saw negative comments. I was like, you guys acting like y'all know. You don't. You just behind the computer. Relax. But just to know it was Jennifer Flores who did look like her little sister was really cool. And so that's just hopefully even that will lead to more stuff for J Flo. She's great anyway with what she's doing outside of WoW and what she's doing inside of WoW. And so hopefully even doing that little thing will be something that we get to see her do more of. Maybe we should get some more background stuff. You never know. Always about getting your coins, do all that. And so it was really cool to see the picture of that, honestly, especially for a show that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, it looked like a good show, but I never made time for it because, of course, when you have so many subscription services, there's only so much you can do with your money. So it's just like, I hearing about it from everybody else made me feel good. And I was just like, anytime I see any wrestlers getting an opportunity to participate in a television show that's centered on wrestling, like I absolutely love it. And so seeing stuff like that, and even seeing stuff like Young Rock, used to make me happy too. So the fact that both of those shows no longer exist makes me really sad. But I mean, Hollywood was just on the struggle bus a bit, but hopefully, they can turn some stuff around. And then, of course, we'll get more and more wrestling entertainment and wrestling content, outside of the in ring stuff that we do see. But big ups to all of those women for doing amazing things outside of the episodic level of WoW. So, Katrina, how did you feel about this episode of WoW as a whole before we get into it match by match?
Solid episode. As I said previously, the one thing I love about WoW is that we usually get a rotation every week of who we're gonna see, and it's always really nice to have. And this is not shade to any other promotion. It's just like you know who the top people are. Those are the ones you're more inclined to see, and so I do like that every week. Even if we see one person we saw last week, they kind of switch it up. And so there might be like a bye week. We might not see somebody, and I think that's always something that I enjoy about WoW. But I like that not only do we get another debut, which is super awesome, just we're getting some more superheroes added to the fold. But I thought a lot of them really kind of put everything into the matches, which is always good. especially when you see people who, they've had their moments in season one, but it seems like they came to season two with a whole different attitude, and not in a bad way, just an attitude like, I'm gonna let everybody know what it is kind of vibes. And I kind of like that we've really been seeing that from a lot of the ladies this season. And so fantastic episode.
Yeah, it was a fantastic episode. And I just love the consistency that they do have along with the show. And I just love, how the entertainment value was upped every single time. So I really love this episode, especially a lot of the in ring action that we got. So let's absolutely get into this card, okay? So the first match was Adriana Gambino versus Chantilly Chella. And of course, Chantilly Chella is looking to bounce back after, her stellar match with Penelope Pink when she did hold the WoW World title, but then, she sadly lost it. She lost that match and Penelope retained, but of course, so many things have happened since then. So Chantilly is now looking to sort of bounce back and, climb her way back up. But then you have Adriana Gambino, who is, of course, on the first season of WoW Superheroes, but then she sort of disappeared to handle some family business, but now she's back. And then on top of her being back, she's been undefeated this season. So Miss Ma'am really does have a point to prove. And she definitely proved it in this match, though it was hard fought. Chantilly really did, try her best within this match, but Adriana was popping off. Like she was utilizing her knees to sort of wear down Chantilly Chella because a lot of Chantilly's offense is pretty airborne a lot of the time, and also, kickboxing based. So basically, Adriana was just trying to wear her down throughout the match. As you can see, even in this picture, utilizing her knees and legs to wear her down on the ropes. Chantilly Chella was even still trying to jump from the second rope to hit a crossbody splash to Gambino with a pinning attempt. And of course, Gambino was showing a bit of her nasty attitude by making fun of Chantilly's dancing. And I'm just like, girl, you ain't got to do her like that. But either way, and it's so funny how she was making fun of her dancing. Meanwhile, Adriana has a whole ballet background that they mentioned on commentary. And I was like, wow, okay. Now that makes all the flexibility that she has in ring totally makes sense now that I know that she used to be a ballerina. But you making fun of Chantilly dancing was just kind of like rude. But either way, Chantilly was still trying to like battle back with a number of kicks. But as you can see in this picture, Adriana actually hit a leg drag onto her and thrusted her into the ring corner. Like it was just really bad. And then she had like a leg and a head submission trying to choke Chantilly Chella out a lot of the time. And then both of these women had a crossbody collision in the middle of the ring. And that's not the last time we'll see something like that either. But both of these women were really fighting hard. But in the end, after an attempt to do it a first time, but then Chantilly blocked it, Adriana Gambino hit her chef's kiss for the win. So here again, Adriana Gambino is continuing her undefeated streak on this season of WoW. So Katrina, how did you feel about this match and about the streak of Adriana Gambino and where she could possibly go?
I like it. I love Chantilly and she's cool, but she was gone a little bit for a bit. We were like, she was on a roll a little bit, then there was a tag team thing that was happening, and then she was gone for a while. And while they said it was a family issue, and I understand this, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and it means kind of pushing things off to the side, and that's fine. But I feel like because of that, I feel like she missed some of the important things, like the fact that we got the tag tournament, where she was part of a tag team, and the fact that there were people gunning for Penelope. And so like the fact that it's like now it's like, well, now I have to feel like maybe that's what's kind of propelling her forward is if I can keep being undefeated, this puts me at a quicker rate to maybe take on Princess Aussie. Maybe she wants a title shot. I don't see her joining a tag team right away again. I don't get that vibe. I feel like she's kind of doing all of this on her own. But I'm okay with it. I mean, she's a little bit mean spirited. She is a little mean spirited. But even with that, she's still fantastic in the ring, and it really shows. And I like that, while she has this whole, and I say bougie because like the way she dresses before she takes off it, before she gets into the ring, it's a little bit bougie. It is, but I like that even being like that, she's still super tough and super badass. And I think that's always like just women being just mostly faceted, like we can be many things and wear many hats and do all that. And she's able to do that. That's those two things, just stepping into a wrestling ring. And so I'm looking forward, even with her being a little bit mean, I am looking forward to see how far this streak is going to go. Is it going to lead her to winning a championship? Is it going to lead her to stand off across from Princess Aussie?
Yeah, I think that's a really good, assumption to make. Like someone who is undefeated has a right, to the WoW World title at some point. Like I would be fascinated to see how their styles, would mesh in ring. I feel like that would be a really cool image and a really cool, match of and a meeting of the minds. Because in thinking about, this new era of a championship that we have with Princess Aussie. There are so many women who can match up with her or who have different styles that could want to like face off against her in the ring for that title. And Adriana Gambino is definitely one of them, and someone else is too, but we'll get to that later. It's just like she's just so good. And with Adriana being as good as she is, I can't wait to see what more she has to offer in ring. But yeah, Miss Mams is undefeated and you love to see it because, like you said, when she was on the first season, her and Gigi Gianni had a thing going on as a tag team. But now it seems like she is all on her own. And I liked it. The only thing that I miss about her is the fact that, of course, she's from New Jersey and we don't have AJ Mendez bigging her up because she's from New Jersey. That's something that I do miss low key. But outside of that, like she has the full package. She has the attitude clearly, and she has the ability. So I'm really here to see her, be a foil to Princess Aussie if that's the case. So yeah, Adriana Gambino won the match and in fabulous fashion too. So, after this match, we had a little bit of an intro segment to our newest WoW superhero, who is Gloria Glitter. And Stephen Dickey on commentary made a very astute observation and said that she's basically like the 80s and the 90s slapped together into one person, and she looks like Lisa Frank. And I thought that was amazing because as a 90s girl, if you grew up with going to school and everything, with those school supplies, with those lunch boxes, them purses, and everything else, you wanted the Lisa Frank stuff because it was all colorful and glittery and had all types of designs on it. And that's literally what Gloria Glitter's outfit looked like. And it was giving me life low key. But of course, as she's, we're getting to know her, we see her doing all these steps and everything, stepping in place and getting her pulse up and everything because she is a fitness instructor. That kind of puts you in the minds of those infomercials that we would see back in the day with Billy Blanks and Tybo and Richard Simmons and even Suzanne Summers, who we just so recently lost yesterday. Like she is kind of like one of those infomercial fitness instructors, just telling everybody to get their fitness up. But she starts stepping all over her assistants who just so happen to be men. She's stepping on their backs over and over again, talking about how nobody in WoW can beat her. And they even gave her state of the art WoW fitness gym. Like, and it's beautiful. Like, it's really beautiful. Like, the colors and everything that's popping off. Kind of like our setup, except it's a little bit different with the color palette. But it was fresh and everything. And she looked really fierce, even with her muscles and her tattoos and everything. But she looked so peppy. So I just enjoyed this from Gloria Glitter. But what we did come to expect for her in the ring wound up being something completely out of this world. But Katrina, how did you feel about the introduction to Gloria Glitter and how did it make you feel in terms of vibes?
Definitely those infomercials, but they're wearing that 80s like one piece exercise outfit. It definitely gave those vibes. Like when they said, let's have like an 80s party, and you think of like certain costumes that kind of fit along that. Definitely that. So I thought it was a nice like peppy vibe, a nice step away from some of the other characters we have on there. But I will have to agree that it was definitely different from what I expected from her. as far as spring. And I was like, okay, that's nice. Again, multifaceted. I love that. I love that it's what you're not really expecting. And so I was great with the intro. I love WoW's intros just because it always gives you a little bit, just a little bit of insight into a character, and that's always nice when you're being introduced to somebody. Especially now we gotten introduced to somebody almost every week, so far the last couple of weeks, and so it's always definitely nice to have some insight going into a new character in this promotion.
Yeah, it was really good. I love the way that they introduce, these new girls. So I'm loving it and I can't wait to see them continue with it. So after this, we did see the intro to the both of them, which led into the second match of the night, which I personally feel is match of the episode, match of the night for me personally. It was Gloria Glitter versus Kandi Krush. And of course, this was everyone's first time seeing Gloria in the ring. And this is the second time that Kandi Krush, someone who we've become very familiar with and akin to since last season, this is the second time she's had to face off against a newer superhero because she had to fight Katarina Jinx, having never faced her before as well. So it's almost like she's like the measuring stick or like the measuring bar for these new girls, coming into WoW. But it's something that I am intrigued by, but I am still enjoying for the most part because, yo, this match was fantastic. For this to be the second match of the episode and for these women to have gone as hard as they did was just absolutely insane. Yesterday, I was taking notes for this match in Starbucks and I posted about it and Kandi Krush saw it and she appreciated it. So shout out to her. But I had like pages upon pages of notes for this match. Like, I know I'm not going to get through them all tonight because the things that these women were doing to each other was just fantastic. But let's just start with the fact that Gloria Glitter was announced from Beverly Hills, California, from the Glitter Aerobics Academy. So I thought that was pretty funny. And she was running and feigning high fives to the WoW crowd and just checking her pulse because that's the most important thing, right? And of course, everybody's cheering for Kandi Krush, because she's one of the crowd favorites, right? So this match gets started with the traditional lockup, but of course, Glitter reverses it with a wrist lock to Kandi Krush. Kandi, forcibly reversed it with a wrist lock of her own. Glitter was stepping on Candy's foot and then reversed the hold into a full Nelson slam combo that sort of reminded you of the Miz and his skull crushing finale. That's really what it reminded me of when she did that. And I was just like, oh, okay, we're getting kind of tough here in the first going. But then, of course, Kandi Krush separated from her. And there were moments where, of course, Gloria was adding insult to injury, just like in this picture, when she was stepping on her, like the same way she was stepping on those men in her gym. But of course, Kandi Krush wasn't taking that sitting down. Like, Miss Ma'am was hitting all kinds of suplexes, Olympic slams, and everything. Kandi Krush is probably one of the most improved wrestlers I have seen in terms of WoW, because last season, she was doing a fantastic job in ring, but you can definitely tell she's been doing a whole lot of work behind the scenes in order to get better. And Miss Ma'am was giving it to Gloria Glitter. And they just gagged me the whole time. I just couldn't take it. And there she is giving an uppercut to Gloria Glitter, of course, on the last rope in the bottom. Like, they were just giving each other clotheslines. And of course, they even collided with each other in the middle of the ring. Like I said earlier, how there was a crossbody collision, they had another collision too. And then you have the strength of Gloria Glitter right here on display, lifting her up for it was sort of like where you pick someone up and then you have the person's neck land on your knee. I don't know the move for it, but I remember watching it happen, like, and I was just like, yo, that is painful. Like, I did not expect Gloria Glitter to come out in her debut match on WoW hitting this hard and giving Kandi Krush a run for her money. But Kandi rose to the occasion, um, and wound up beating her. She wound up defeating Kandi. Kandi wound up defeating Gloria Glitter. But one thing I will say is this though, like, Gloria made a fantastic impression on me. I've never seen her wrestle because, of course, I did look her up and find out who she was. I had never seen her wrestle before, but I want to see her wrestle more simply because of how good both of these women did. And when you think about Gloria having, I guess, more of a wrestling background than Kandi does, the fact that all of that was going on in that match was just fantastic. And this was just the second match. And this was fantastic. I loved it. But let me just hush and let Katrina say what she's going to say about this match because I just got to know. Do you feel how I feel?
No, it definitely was a fantastic match. I like obviously in her intro they did show her stepping on the guys, but I've seen plenty of like old school movies or shows where they kind of reference that kind of thing where there's like the woman in the gym. And so that's not too often. Again, to have her come in like super peppy and to the audience, but then she got inside the ring and it was kind of different. Like she was more imposing, and not in a bad way, just imposing that she kind of gave Candy a little bit of run for her money. It was I don't know how Candy prepared for this, only because she didn't know who this was going in. But you try to think of the outcomes you can possibly have with somebody you're wrestling you for the first time. And so how can you prepare for somebody who outside the ring is like, yay, peppy, kind of maybe can even fall in line if it wasn't for gear with like Randy Rivera or something, like that type of energy. And then you get into the ring and it's like, no, I'm about to throw you around a bit. And she did. And again, it makes me happy to see how many women on that roster is just very multifaceted. We're like they can kind of turn off what they need to turn off or turn on what they need to turn on. And I don't know if Gloria went in because Candy's boxing background, like I gotta make sure I do what I need to do. I don't know if that's her goal because she should have had a little bit more info on Candy than vice versa. But it was a fantastic showing. Probably, and again, not any shade to any of the other new debutees because I feel like they did well. But I think this is a really like probably so far because I'm not sure if we're getting any more debuts, but this is probably my favorite debut of the new debutees just because of how different it was for me going in as far as what I was going to expect. But also, again, kind of giving people, you can just throw somebody around. It's like, oh, okay, well, my bad. If you're gonna assume or make an assumption about that, and fantastic. And obviously, I wasn't surprised with Candy winning it, just because we have known her even from season one to kind of come back and do what she needed to do to get a win. Come back and even when it seemed like it might not be easy, she's came back and kind of did what needed to be done, even with the stuff with her boxing glove situation. And so I'm not surprised that she won. But again, Gloria, even with not winning, gave such a fantastic match that I literally just can't wait to see what she does next and well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. She is definitely high on the list of favorite debuts that we have had on this iteration of WoW because Miss Man was coming out swinging. Like, I I just could not forget that one spot where she actually gave Kandi Krush like a backbreaker that Loki looked like a backwards chicken wing, except she had her up like by her legs, and then she slammed her knees into the mat, and then she slammed her face onto the mat too. Like that was mad impressive, and I was just like, Gloria, like you're coming this hard and this is your first match. Excuse me. Who are you? And Kandi Krush rose to the occasion. And I just love seeing her confidence in ring, just grow and blossom, as she's been wrestling, for over a year now. Like it's just amazing to see all the growth that she has had to take on someone like Gloria Glitter, who is someone she's never wrestled before, but yet and still rose to everything that she had to dish out. And I wouldn't be mad to see these two wrestle again. Like, I wouldn't be mad about that at all. But either way, Kandi Krush wound up getting the win. And this wouldn't be the last we would see of her in this episode. But this was a fantastic match. Like I said, this is match of the night for me. Like, it was fantastic. If you have not watched it already, go on Wow Superheroes YouTube channel and watch that match full out. Don't let nothing get in your way. Tell everybody to hush. Sit and watch it. If you love women's wrestling, sit and watch Gloria Glitter versus Kandi Krush. It will make your entire day. I promise. So, moving away from that match, we go backstage again, more so kind of like on the outside area, and we see the Beast working out, stretching out with those ropes and everything. But then she gets a visit from Miss Sophia Lopez, the world's greatest attorney, who hands her a mysterious flash drive. And as she's handing her this flash drive, she says the words, "You owe me." And this got on my nerves because I'm just like, bro, the last time somebody owed you, they wind up going back and forth to jail. What are you trying to do to the beast, ma'am? Like, I'm gonna need for you to chill out and leave the beast alone because she is not here for the shenanigans. Like, she will throw you, ma'am. So don't do that to her, first of all. And secondly, this flash drive, when I saw it, I knew exactly what it was. I knew exactly what it was and I knew what was about to happen. And I was so happy. I was just like, this, we are about to find out. And I was mad excited about it. So this was interesting. So, Kat, how did you feel about Sophia handing her that flash drive?
I don't know. I'm like, because I'm trying to figure out what it is that she's supposed to owe her for. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like the beast had legal troubles. It wasn't like the beast had like a new contract dispute. I'm trying to think of things lawyers would do. What did you need her for? And if you didn't help her figure out who messed with her beforehand, then what do you like? How are we like? Let's calm down. I feel like what did you do to tell somebody you owe them? That's what. But also, do you think you can pull what you pulled with the mother truckers with the beast? I don't think so. I think she would take you and your team. The only person who might give her a little bit of a hard time might be Tormenta. I'll say that. And again, this is no shade, to the other ladies. It's just saying like we've seen what the beast can do. Okay. We see Tormenta pick up two ladies in the match she was in with Penelope and Princess Aussie. So she gets somebody who can give her a run for her money. So outside of Tormenta, it's not like you're gonna use your other team. So what do we like? I feel like you have to know when. Like if you're gonna be mouthy or whatever, be extra. You gotta know when to kind of read the room. I know when to kind of be quiet. And I feel like in this regard, if you didn't help the beast in any matter legally, why are you talking about she owes you? Like, did you get her? Like, I doubt you the reason she got back here because she clearly had to take some more time off because the person who attacked her. So unless she comes out and say, I found out who did this to you, which then I'll be like, maybe you owe her just a tad. Even then, you can still come with some respect. Like, why are you even say that on a flash drive? Can that be like a text or something? Like, why are we taking it to a flash drive? Like, it's been extra for no reason. Like, why are we being extra? You could have just said, "Oh, I think we need like a conversation or something," or like, "I feel you owe me." Not here's a flash drive to do all that, and that's what it says. Like, sis, stop. So that I was just like, "Girl, stop it." Like, I like her, but stop it. So again, I'm kind of interested to see how this plays out because it feels like Sophia Lopez has a lot of her hand in a lot of stuff this season. It appears like she's in a lot of stuff this season. She got her hand in a lot of places. So I'm interested to see how this turns out later on in the season.
Yeah, she is an attorney. So, of course, she has her hand in a whole lot of things. So, it's I can't wait for us to get to the part where we actually get to reveal what was on the flash drive. And yes, sweetheart, you did miss Gloria Glitter. I am so sorry. We moved past that part. Um, he really liked the match between Gloria and Kandi Krush. So yeah. Um, sorry. But yeah, we get to find out the mystery of who attacked the beast a little bit later. Then we stay backstage because we see Coach Campanelli actually walk up to Gloria Glitter and give her a compliment, on her athleticism and how good she did, right? But Gloria Glitter gave her like mad attitude for no reason and told her, "Look, I didn't need you to tell me that." And I was just like, "Yo, why did you have to be that nasty to her when you just met her? Like, calm down." And then Gloria was just like, "Yeah, I know about team spirit. Maybe if you quit wasting your time on so much drama, you'd actually realize there's more talented fish in the sea." And then she flicked her hair at Coach and then stormed off. And I was just like, "Dang, why you gotta be mean to her like that?" But Coach has been in a lot of drama, and Team Spirit has been on the struggle bus. But this low key also felt like Gloria Glitter was sort of like throwing her hat in the ring to be the replacement for Randy Rah. Like that's low key kind of how it felt, or that's just how I read it. But I don't know. But either way, maybe this will lead to a match between those two, and I'm here for it. So yeah.
I agree with you there. I wouldn't mind a match, honestly.
Yeah, at this point, we may as well. Coach is fighting everybody. We may as well get a match. So yeah, that was interesting. But then backstage, we also heard more from the Mother Truckers, who are getting ready to fight in a tag team match a little bit later. They were talking about how they wanted to get their revenge on Las Bandidas and Sophia Lopez, because every time they thought about, every time they were in jail and had their food taken away from them, and they were couldn't sleep because the inmates were snoring, they were thinking about them, and Holly Swag was just hyped up the entire time and just ready to fight and ready to just get back at them. Honk honk. So after that, this led into their third match, which was Las Bandidas versus the Mother Truckers. And of course, Sophia Lopez was out there, with her tag team, Vivian Rivera and Sylvia Sanchez. And this match was pretty good for the most part. There was lots of great rhythm in terms of tag team chemistry with Las Bandidas in this match. They kept sort of switching off a lot of the time and sort of wearing down on Big Rig Betty, who sort of came in hot in the first part of the match. But Holly Swag did sort of get fired up, in the very beginning, and she started firing off on Vivian Rivera. But Vivian pushed Holly Swag to the side, and mashed her face into the ropes, and then she smacked her chest. But then Vivian also went for a kick, and then Holly ducked it, and then Holly kicked Vivian, and then hit a honk honk before giving a suplex to Vivian Rivera as well. Like, she really did come in hot in this match. She was very impressive. But then Holly tagged in Big Red Betty, and they had sort of like a double elbow situation going on and a double suplex to Sylvia Sanchez. Like, all of these women were utilizing each other's bodies in terms of the tag teamwork, and I really enjoyed that. But at one point, Vivian Rivera did take advantage and kick Big Red Betty out of the corner and drag her to their corner and just continue to beat up on her over and over again until the momentum shifted and the Mother Truckers wound up beating on Las Bandidas and covering them up with like sort of like they had like two different moves going on at the same time. One was a cutter and another one was another move. And they both had like a double cover. But then Sophia Lopez distracted the referee, who was Ben the referee, distracted him, and then the Mother Trucker started yelling at her to get down because this had nothing to do with them. But then Las Banditas got up and started attacking them and then handcuffed them to the ropes. Ugh, I hated it. Handcuffed them to the ropes and beat on them and stomped on them in the ring corner. And then, in the first time we've ever seen this, actually threw Ben the referee out of the ring and proceeded to beat up on them. And then more refs had to come out and break up the fight and unlock the Mother Truckers from their handcuffs. But then they, of course, wanted a rematch, and David gave it to them. So that's what we had going on there. There was a disqualification. So the Mother Truckers wound up winning via DQ. But Las Bandidas were just playing really like dirty here. Like it was really unapologetically dirty too. So yeah, it was just really crazy stuff going on. But Katrina, how did you feel about this match and how Las Bandidas has just gotten even grittier?
I think that was the plan. I remembering just our interview with Sophia Lopez a few months ago when, she was saying just how she had like plans for her team. She had plans for what she wanted, what she expected, and what she wanted to do, which was to get to the top of WoW. Very similar to Lana Star, where you know, it was that whole I kind of want to run things. And I feel like that is the tier that Sophia Lopez is now on. It's like you see, and I part of me feels like that might be a little bit of the reason she kind of seemed like she had partnered up with Lana. Lana, maybe she's like getting some tips, or maybe she just kind of, if the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of vibes. And maybe that's what's going on. But I feel like that's probably why they're being a lot more, I thought Tormenta was already pretty tough. But I feel like all three of them are just on a different page. And I think that's what it is. It's like, could this be, as I said before, just a new version of the Fab Four, and not like in comparison way as far as how they are in terms of having a lady kind of running a squad here. and kind of having her hands, or pulling kind of in charge of a squad. And I that's what I need. And so, is it possible we're getting another one of those where it's like she's gonna make her way up there to her team, get what they need to get? Is that the tag titles? Is that the main title? Or is that what you're gunning for? And I think so. And so I think that's why she's being more greedy. And, in Las Bandidas is too. And again, you think of some of the other tag teams we have in WoW, and some of them are kind of tough, again, like just the Tongas, the current champions, they're tough. You have to really kind of go on your A game. And so to go through like them, or again, go through like Rena Wrecking Ball, go through Holodead and Chainsaw if they decide to, that's quite a few teams that might be a bit of a problem. And you might have to come in like this. You might have to come in kind of with like not necessarily cheating or anything, but just come in with a different mindset of like you might have to be a little bit more tougher than normal. And so I think Sophia is just trying to get to the top truly, and she's using her girlies to do it. And I'm interested to see where it goes. I think this is a good match. Otherwise, I can't say I necessarily fault them being gritty. I do think they're doing a lot of shenanigans with the mother truckers. Honestly, it's been shenanigans for weeks. And I think that probably, I don't know why it's so much. It seems like it's a lot involved with them, keep messing with them to that extent. But I have no problem with them necessarily being more gritty, because I feel like with some of the teams we have in WoW, it's a necessary thing. I feel like you can't be too nice. Not saying be, like I said, not cheating, but you can't just be like, oh, okay, and take everything kind of lying down, because you got to have some of these women who want a spot as well. I feel like that's something. And again, we did see Tormenta just recently in a title match. It's very possible for her to make her way back, truly. And so who knows? I think that's what Sophia's goal is, to get her girlies with some gold.
Yeah, you're right. When we were in the mysterious place, she was like Sophia was really, passionate about getting her clients, at the top of the ladder when it comes to WoW. And honestly, I can see her doing it because with her unholy alliance with Lana Star, which may or may not be falling apart, she could be getting advice from her on how to, get her faction to the top and, trying to bargain with her in certain ways in order to figure some stuff out. And I think that's really interesting, how you put that, but that's very astute because of course you have tag teams like Las Bandidas who are very focused and very tough in the ring and want to get to the very top and win those tag titles at some point. But then you also have, like you mentioned, the tag teams who are like too nice, who don't necessarily get a lot of the job done. Kind of like, no shade to them, but um Crystal Waters and Sandy Shore, it just seems like every time they're in ring, they always just get walked all over. And you do have to have a little bit of an edge to you if you want to make it, to the top of certain things. And it looks like Las Bandidas is willing to do whatever it takes. But honestly, I just don't feel like the best way to get your point across is to handcuff people and then beat them up. That just felt wrong. And then for you to take it out on Ben, who's just trying to do his job and is tossing him out, I'm more than sure they're going to get fined for that. Like, they have to get fined for that at some point.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. Not that, because Ben be doing shenanigans sometimes. He really does. So he be missing stuff. He need to get it together, but he shouldn't have got tossed. That's so extra for no reason. He didn't deserve that, guys. Definitely did.
Yeah, he really didn't. But hopefully, of course, this rematch that the Mother Truckers and Las Bandidas gets will be fair and square and won't be so crazy, in terms of that type of stuff. So they did announce two matches for next week, for this week's episode that's coming up. They announced that Jennifer Flores, who we did mention earlier, will be facing off against Chainsaw, which is, of course, a difference between those two in terms of size and agility and stuff. But it is an interesting matchup, so we'll see how that works. And then we also have a no DQ Texas Tornado tag team match for the Wild Tag Team titles, with the Tonga Twins, Chaos and Kona, going up against Miami Sweet Heat for the 50th time. This rivalry is just going to keep going and keep going and keep going until there is no rivalry left. And I just wonder what the heck can even happen here, because it's like the Tonga twins already beat them in Falls Count Anywhere. And they beat them. Well, they didn't even really beat them because, of course, there was interference in their last encounter. But it's just like, what more do the Tonga twins have to prove to these women to prove that they are the top tag team now? Like, it just seems like Miami's Sweet Heat just keeps jumping in front of the line over and over again. Like,
Yeah.
I don't recall seeing any other tag teams stepping up and challenging the Tonga twins outside of Miami Sweet Heat. Like, how do they keep jumping in the front of the line? Because by all means, and we've discussed this before, but it bears repeating, by all means, the Carlson sisters should be behind everybody else, and you should have other people challenging. Like, how come the Mother Truckers haven't challenged? How come Las Bandidas has not challenged? Like, yo, like, what is going on? What is up with these tag teams? You know, even Team Spirit, with all the stuff that they've got going on, they could even challenge. So for the life of me, I don't understand how the Carlson sisters get to just jump in the front of the line over and over again for these titles. Like, I'm low-key tired of it. Like, no shade to the Carlson sisters, because they are a solid tag team, and they have been since we've been watching this iteration of WoW. But I'm tired of them always getting opportunity after opportunity when clearly it's not for them. You guys were champions for over a year. Let it go. Let somebody else get a chance. Like, dang, it's just frustrating. That's just my rant. But Katrina, how do you feel about this?
No, we did discuss this. We definitely did. And again, this isn't shade to outside of their shenanigans, they were very nice ladies when we spoke to them and met them. And so outside of the shenanigans that they are engaged with as part of the Fab Four, I can't accept the shenanigans, but I also appreciate them as a team. And but I am on that whole like, why, how many chances do you need? You had a couple of rematches and you lost it. So let it go. And I don't recall them being this giving of rematches when they were champions. They tried everything in their power to avoid a rematch. So why is
They
it now,
weren't.
why is it now that this doesn't work for them where it's like, we lost twice, let's get in there more? Like, no, like, we lost twice, you lucky you got the second one, relax. You don't need to have it again. They definitely need to go to the back of the line. I've been saying this. Honestly, I was saying this since the first rematch, and I only said it not because just because when you think about how hard they made it for the Tongas, like, you didn't even deserve that first rematch. Personally, I would have been mean about it and be like, nah, I'm sorry. Like, I would have made something happen like they were doing, where Lana always had a reason why they couldn't defend the belts or whatever was happening. And so I just I don't know. Like I said, I like them and all, but I feel like you shouldn't be getting all these chances. Like, you lost twice, move it to the back. Let's let some other teams come on. Like, why do you think you're now above the rest of the teams? You lost it. It's your time. And the fact that they were doing shenanigans when they first got the belt told me all I needed to know what they like messing with the Tongas. And so now I keep want to mess with them now as former champions. Let me keep trying to hope we get the belts back. Let it go. Let it go. Love you guys, but let it go. Let's get some new people in there to fight the Tongas. I would love to see who other they can fight, whoever else can give us some bangers. And we can't do that if you guys keep popping back up in there in the front of the line. We can't do that. You gotta kind of. It's okay to get off the train and go to a different stop for a little bit. It's fine. It's okay. Things will still be okay. It will be all right. And so I think that's what they need to do, truly. Um, but I guess we're getting this match again. So here we are. I mean, this is a crazy feud, but sometimes a feud is okay for a feud to take a pause. If we can have some other tag teams come in, because ma'ams, ladies, y'all wasn't this kind of rematches when y'all was champs.
They weren't. And my thing is, it's just like, I don't care at this point if Fury needs to tag with Rebel Hayes. I just need somebody else, like, to challenge for those tag titles besides them. Like, what type of voodoo magic have they put on David McLean for him to just keep giving them all these opportunities over and over again? Like, I'm tired. I don't care how luscious Lindsay or lovely, Lori looks. Like, I don't care how much money they have, and I don't care how fabulous Lana Star thinks she is. Emphasis on think. They need to stop. Like, they just need to stop thinking that the tag team title picture has to have them in it. I'm tired of it. Like, move to the side. Move out the way. Okay? Like move to the back and earn your way back the same way everybody else has. The same way everybody else has to earn their way back to things, y'all got to earn y'all way back to things too. So I hope this is the last time the Tonga Twins has to fight them, and I hope that they win their match and retain their titles, cuz after that the Carlson sisters need to back off, and that's on period. Okay? So, moving on to another backstage segment that intrigued me, we had Kandi Krush meeting up with the new Wild World champion, Princess Aussie, and congratulating her, as of course they are best friends at this point, and she was talking about how Princess Aussie inspires her, from everything she's been through to now get to this point. She was just giving her all types of props and love to her, and Princess Aussie appreciated it. But then where the miscommunication happened was Kandi Krush asked Princess Aussie if she had watched her match that she had with Gloria Glitter, because she felt like even though she got the win, she, that there's still room for improvement. And of course, she trusts Princess Aussie's opinion, given her background in wrestling. But Princess Aussie sadly admitted that she had not watched the match, but that they could catch up later because she's just been so focused on her championship stuff. And clearly, this made Kandi Krush feel some type of way. She wanted to catch up with her after, her match and everything. And Kandi was just looking really sad. And I was just like, no. And this is the second time this has happened, because I'm just like, dang, like I don't want Princess Aussie to get so much tunnel vision that she leaves behind her friend. Like I just don't I don't like that, because of course life be lifing sometimes and you get real focused on your goals, but you still have to make time for the people you love. And I just don't want their friendship to be ripped apart by the fact that Princess is champion and Kandi, just can't get her to help her, up her game in the ring. So this was really sad to see. But Katrina, how did you feel about this?
I understood. Like I feel like I've been on both sides of that. Where you're trying to do something and it's not like on purpose necessarily. It's just you're so busy that you might not make as much time for your friends. And but then I've also been on the side when I've definitely felt like I was being left behind. Not necessarily like in the way they are, I guess, but like just like, oh, it's been a little minute, guys. Like, and so I've been on both sides of that. And it can definitely be hurtful on one end and also not on purpose on the other end. But with that being said, you know, I think just regard with Princess Aussie, she was dealing with Penelope, and again, as we said just literally previously, the Fab Four can be a lot to deal with, truly. And so I think she kind of needed tunnel vision. I don't. I think if she didn't have it, she wouldn't have became champion. I think she needed to have that to kind of get through that hurdle. But hopefully, going forward, they can have a little brunch. I don't know, a little movie time. I don't know what it is they do together as friends, but whatever it is that they do to bond and connect, hopefully they get that. And I hope Princess Aussie doesn't forget that she said we're gonna get it back. I hope she means what she said, and so I'm hoping at least when it comes to her friendship, that she plans to kind of put it back in, good space and not kind of feel like it's to the back burner. So we'll see. I'm hoping, the championship doesn't change that too much, in regards to like, does it mean because you're a champion, you're kind of the top, does that change your friendship? Because it's also like just slightly playing devil's advocate. What if Candy Crush won a title shot again? It's very possible. The last time she had one, it was against Penelope. So, there's a different champion now. Would it be just a friendly competition? Like, see if I can beat you. Or will it be a situation that might not be so friendly at the end? And so there's also that too. And so, obviously everybody wants friends to be happy for each other, but sometimes people can be a little sad if they don't have, you know, what they wanted to have, or they feel like they should have had something that you may have. It happens all the time in life. And so hopefully in this regard, after this conversation, that it all goes fine and well. It's smooth sailing and nothing funny, but things happen. I feel like I don't want to say like Princess Aussie's never given me a reason to feel like she'll be shady, and so that's not the vibe I'm getting. But it's also very possible that if you're to the point where I have to make sure I keep my title, it can kind of change how you might have relationships with other people. And so we'll see how that is going forward. But I hopefully this means the conversation was had and that they can go on a good point from here on.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when it comes to Princess Aussie, like she was really focused on winning that title. And the thing about Penelope Pink is not only is she a fantastic in-ring competitor, she's also really cagey and she'll do whatever it takes to win, especially with the Fab Four. So maybe Kandi could possibly understand that because the Fab Four is the reason why she lost her opportunity at the title. There was cheating involved. And Princess Aussie did not want that to happen for herself. And clearly it didn't because she won the title now. And it's just like, and it might not be anything personal because Princess Aussie doesn't seem like a malicious person to me at all. She seems like an angel. And of course, if Candy is also, of pure intention, then they can figure out their friendship and, what shape it can take now since, Princess is the champion. But of course, like you said, for all we know, Candy might want another opportunity at that title and try to take it away from her just out of anger. And that would be really messed up. But at the same time, that would be, what would happen. So it would be crazy if that would be the case. But I'm hoping that they can, iron it out and hang out and just figure out what's next for their friendship in a healthy, I'm going to take your title type of way. So, yeah, so that was interesting. So, of course, this led to the main event, which was Princess Aussie versus Penelope Pink for the Wild World title. Here again, a rematch that probably didn't need to happen because here again, Penelope Pink lost her title fair and square in a triple threat match with Princess Aussie and Tormenta because in triple threat rules, anybody can get covered and you can lose the title. But I knew this was gonna happen. I knew Lana Star was gonna be like, look, she didn't cover Penelope Pink, so she should have another opportunity. Because of course, the Fab Four doesn't know how to wait in line for anything because they think that just because they're cute, they can do whatever they want to do. Newsflash, that's not how life works. But anyway, this match happened and it was still pretty good, for the most part. For me, this match was good, but it wasn't as good as the first time they fought each other one-on-one. A couple months back. Actually, no, last month when they fought last month. This match was still pretty good. As you can see, Penelope Pink's athleticism was on display here, trying to break down Princess Aussie in multiple ways, even though in the beginning of the match, she tried to roll out of the ring and play mind games. But Princess Aussie wasn't falling for it. And that's something that I love about her this go round. It's like for every mind game that the Fab Four tries to play with her, she ain't having it. She's even breaking out of eye rakes and stuff like that. It was really impressive. But as you can see here, there were multiple moments where Lana Star and Vicky Lynn McCoy were beating up on Princess Aussie, even outside of the ring on the floor and everything. And I was just like, girls, this is not about y'all. Like, leave her alone. But they don't know how to do that. But I will say they did look cute. I'll give credit where credit is due. That "Don't Be Jealous" t-shirt, those abs, like they looked
Yes, ma'am.
amazing.
I love good crop
Vicky,
top. Love good crop top.
yeah, I can't wear crop tops, but I admire people who do. But either way, it's just like, and then Vicky Lynn McCoy with her sparkly gear and her boots and everything, like they look cute. They've upped the ante this season with the wardrobe. But yeah, like they were just really cute, but they were beating up on Princess Aussie a lot of the time. But as you can see, Princess Aussie was bringing a fight to Penelope Pink, even giving her that impressive Indian death lock that she loves to give her. But this is where Penelope raked her eyes and broke up the count. But in the midst of this match, we see the Beast backstage in the production truck walk up to Nigel Zane, who's working the truck, and hand him the flash drive, and he plugs it in for her, right? And he puts it on the screen, and then on the screen in black and white, you see the white Mercedes SUV pull up. And as you're watching what's going on, the camera is staying on the Beast's face. So the Beast is looking at the screen, and then she gets even more angrier the more she looks at it, which lets us know in the audience that she done found out who attacked her in that alley. And she left and she slammed the wall and she stormed out of the production truck while this match was still going on. And they go back. It goes from picture in picture to back to the match. They wind up outside of the ring, then back inside the ring. And here's Princess Aussie, like showing her show of strength by actually lifting up Penelope Pink and slamming her down. and then giving her the cutter from down under. But then Penelope kicked out. But as they're still fighting back and forth, the Beast storms her way into the arena and spears the ever loving crap out of Vicky Lynn McCoy. So that lets us know who did it. Vicky Lynn McCoy and the Fab Four attacked the Beast and hurt her knee and had her out for the rest of last season. That let us know who did it right there. She got her vengeance, and I hope that they get in a match with each other that's in a cage, because she deserves to get her lick back in the worst way for that. Like, I hope she truly gets her lick back. So in the midst of this, Lana Star is running away, and Penelope Pink gets distracted, and Princess Aussie hits her cutter from down under and her famous frog splash for the win, and she retains her Wild World title. So Princess Aussie is still the champion out here, and she is celebrating with the title, which she looks so good with. Like, when she came out in her entrance with that title around her waist, and then she revealed the cover, like, oh my god, that was just so cute. She took her cape off, and then boom, there was the title around her waist. That was so cute. It was giving Victoria Monet. I loved it. But yeah, that's how this episode of WoW ended. The Beast got her lick back, and Princess Aussie kept her title. So Katrina, how did you feel about this match, and now that we know who attacked the Beast?
I think this is a really good match. Just because I had to, when you're talking about the Fab Four outfits, they definitely was on. I love me some good pink, as I told them previously. I love me some pink. I do. I mean, while I wear black mostly, I love me some pink. And so they were definitely on it with the outfits. I loved Lana's crop top. I love a good crop top, as I said. Um, but I thought, like, and I will agree that this wasn't as I don't I'm trying to figure the right word to say this, with the first time they fought each other. But I think, again, the reasoning of why it was a little bit different was because Princess Aussie was at a different level and trying to beat, and I think that level of kind of trying to win the title and trying to keep the title is a very different level. I feel like she was in more of a different space when she was going for the title, which is why she might not have been as extra going into this match. But either way, I still think it was a fantastic match. I thought, again, and like, I know you have your beef with Penelope, but Penelope is definitely a fantastic in ring performer. She really is. And every time you get to kind of see her do her like one-on-one matches, you really get to see how good she really is. Even with the shenanigans that sometimes she engages, because she definitely does engage in shenanigans at times. But this is something, again, Princess Aussie came in. I loved her picking her up. I think a little bit size wide Penelope might have a little bit more size on her, and so that was always cool to see when somebody can do that. Um, Even her hold, which I thought, I mean, I personally, when I think about this kind of holds, I'm like, ooh, my back, like I can't like power to anybody who could do that. But I think this is a nice showing. I don't know if that necessarily mean that Penelope moves away from this, because she also had an issue with the Beast a few weeks ago when the Beast came back first time, and then she kind of attacked Penelope. But now that we know it wasn't Penelope, because we kind of was wondering, was Penelope involved? It kind of makes sense that it was Vicky. Again, she was the enforcer. So what better way to make sure something happens, enforce that something happens within your team, is to get rid of the biggest competition. It makes sense. Is it smart? Probably not, because now that she knows it's you, this might be a problem. And this Beast is not somebody you can just fling around. Like, how Vicky's been able to do with other people. She can't do that with the Beast. So you can't just fling her around and throw her to the side. And so this might be problematic. My thing is the Beast going to go on a tirade or a rampage where she's messing up all of them because she's pissed? And then rightfully so, I understand, because I'm sure the rest of them knew she did it. I'm sure they knew. And so is it going to be like, what if she interferes in the Miami Sweet Heat match next week because she's pissed off? What if she has a beef with the whole squad because she felt like they took out some time for her to come back? They took months off her timetable coming back. And so there's so many things that could happen with this, but I'm glad she did what she needed to do, honestly. Considering Vicky was talking a lot of crap last season too. Man, I'm okay with her doing what she did. Perfectly fine with it. But I'm glad Princess Aussie was able to be retain. I wasn't surprised. I didn't think they would do that and have us like, oh man, after all that, because she loses. I didn't find it, but it was so good to see again Penelope show how why I think she's fantastic in the ring. Um, and I guess, and this is what Sophia meant, where she owes her because she told her, and I did say that a little bit earlier before we revealed that if she figures out who did it, it makes sense that she would say she will owe her. But what do you want her to do? To join your squad, to watch out for your squad, and you're already supposedly working with Lana. And this is another thing: you're supposedly working with Lana, but you just kind of put the person who was involved, who was part of Lana's group, under the bus. For what gain? What do you? Because obviously there's a gain to this. She's saying she owes you, so you want something. There's a gain for her. What is that gain? Because this partnership that you supposedly have with Lana, where you put one of our persons in dangerous way by telling. So it's like, now is this now mean the partnership is over? Because you told that it was one of Lana people's that did this. That's because Lana did run, so I feel like she was aware that this happened. Does this mean, like, again, what is Sophia's means so ends? And I feel like the ultimate goal at some point is to make sure her team is with the gold. I really truly feel that.
Yeah, and then when you think about the trajectory of where last season even went, like after the Beast had to like vacate the title, could you even imagine, like after Penelope had won at LA Comic Con, like could you even imagine like a healed Beast that wasn't attacked in an alley coming after Penelope? Like she probably would not have been champion for as long as she was if the Beast had not have been re-injured by that attack. Like Penelope probably would not have been champion for as long as that time as she was, like all that point. So it's just like it's crazy to think about how different everything could have been had Vicky Lynn McCoy not attacked her the way that she did and re-injured her and kept her out for a whole season. It's pretty insane when you think about it in that way. But either way, I just hope the Beast gets her lick back. And if it comes at the eradication of the entire Fab Four, the twins, Penelope and Vicky and Lana, then I'm here for it. I'm here for the destruction. I'm here for the revenge. I'm here for the get back. I'm here for all of it. Like if she wants to come in and interfere in Miami Sweet Heat's match next week, considering it's no DQ, she has free reigns. She can do it. If she wants to run up on Lana Star, she can do it. Like the Beast, look, it's no holds barred now. She needs to unleash on all members of the Fab Four because everybody is out of bounds. They keep getting opportunity after opportunity over and over again. They keep trying to step all over people and bully folk. No, it's time for them to understand that this is the Beast territory and they just living in it. So, hey, if she wants to destroy them all, then let it happen. But that's the end of that episode of Wow. Of course, this was a fantastic episode. Of course, next week or this week coming up, they have two great matches in Chainsaw versus Jennifer Flores, and of course the rematch between Miami Sweet Heat and the Tonga Twins for the tag titles. That's no DQ Texas Tornado. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna talk about it the Monday afterward, like we always do. So thank you guys so much for watching and supporting Cat and Steph and Cat Talk Wow. Of course, share and subscribe to both of our channels. Subscribe to In Cat We Trust and subscribe to the Hardy Wrestling Podcast so you can catch all of these episodes because I've been putting them all in their own playlist on my channel. And you can catch them all, if you've missed any of the episodes, you can catch them all there and catch them all on Katrina's channel as well. And just continue to support the show as it continues to grow. Maybe, we might have some goodies. Maybe we might have things that we're cooking up. But either way, just continue to support us as we move about in this wrestling space. So, Katrina, tell everybody where they can find and follow you.
I am on most social media in Cat We Trust, Threads, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. The E is the three. And obviously follow my YouTube channel. I am doing some spooky stuff for the month of October, just because it is Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays, but also I'm a pretty spooky gal and I love spooky stuff all year round. And so I am doing some stuff towards horror type stuff on my channel. So definitely check that out. I do have some new interviews coming up and it's been a little minute because the girl has been busy. And so definitely check those out as well. And as Steph said, I'm gonna reiterate it. Please definitely keep supporting WoW. Amazing, amazing promotion. And we hope that their numbers keep growing by the end of the year. I would love to see that doubled up by the end of the year. That more people are watching WoW, as we've been enjoying since this iteration. And also make sure you subscribe to Steph as well.
And also, since she didn't bring it up, her first article for Daily DDT got published this weekend, and she wrote about the importance of Trinity as the Impact Knockouts champion. And considering we both got hired onto Daily DDT at the same time, I'm gonna need for her to big up the idea that she is a published writer on this amazing website. Go read her article, please, because it is fantastic. Please read it. She is a great writer. If you haven't read her stuff already, like, read that article because it's really good. Like, it's fantastic.
I totally forgot. Sorry, guys. Yes, I did do my article about Trinity. I saw it on the topic, and I'm like, this is my girl. I will talk about Trinity time. And it was very fortunate that she actually read it. And so that was really awesome part of my weekend. That she read it and she said thank you. And I was like, really, I will shout it out how amazing you are to the top and to the end. And so that was really cool. But yes, I'm working on my next one. And Steph has quite a few articles on Daily DDT as well. So support us if you can by reading and sharing and all that good stuff.
Yes, and of course you can find and follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads at Queen Steph Hardy, and listen to the show The Hardy Wrestling Podcast everywhere you get your podcast, and watch all the episodes of my YouTube channel, as they're all up in the live section or the video section. Either way, watch them all. I'm not sure where I am in terms of episodes at this point, but I might be starting a new season. I'm not entirely sure. But like Katrina said, I do have two new articles out with Daily DDT. One on the three biggest matches that Jade Cargill could have in WWE, and the second one about the women's world champion Rhea Ripley being the focal point of a men's angle, whether it's a good or a bad thing. So please read both of those. I put a lot of my heart and soul into those. So please read them both, and I'm going to try and probably write an article at least once a week, if not once every 2 weeks. I don't know. This is a job, so I mean, you just got to figure it out. But either way, like, I'm really passionate about writing. Like, it's something that I'm growing to love more and more each time I do it. So I'm just really happy to be in this space, and blessings are falling in our laps, guys, in terms of wrestling. So, of course, this has been Steph and Cat Talk WoW. Of course, please support WoW superheroes any way you can. Watch the matches on YouTube, watch reruns on Pluto TV, and watch it wherever it plays. Wherever you're at on any channel, go on wowe.com and check out, where it's at, where it's playing for you via your zip code and stuff, and just continue to support women's wrestling as a whole, not just with WoW, but in every promotion, because women are fantastic. We are strong, we are powerful, we are capable, we are intelligent, and we rule the world. No matter how many times people try to tell us we don't, we do. So we rule wrestling too, so support that. So until next time, this has been Steph and Cat Talk WoW. Bye, y'all.